The Bangladesh Nationalist Party wants the national election by the middle of this year, followed by local government polls afterwards. The party believes that local polls before parliamentary election will be a delaying tactic. The issue was discussed during a standing committee meeting at the party chairperson's office. Now, acting chairperson Tariqi Rahman joined the meeting from London virtually. A member said that after the meeting, the government should abandon plans for local government elections and instead focus on holding a national election by mid-year in line with the public aspirations. Now, according to reports, party leaders are putting pressure on the interim government through seminars and discussions to have the general election by June this year. The local government polls were also discussed at the BNP meeting. All senior leaders say the polls would delay the general election as they will take place in different phases and take more than 1.5 years to be completed. The interim government has indicated that the national election is likely to be held either later this year or early next year. The government has also stated that if there is no significant demand for widespread reforms from the political parties, the polls may be scheduled earlier. The BNP, however, maintains that reforms are an ongoing process and should continue, but the election should only be conducted after implementing the necessary reforms. At the meeting, the BNP also discussed the government's decision to raise VAT and supplementary duties on over 100 goods and services midway through the fiscal year. BNP leaders expressed frustration over the tax increase, arguing that no elected government would implement measures that exacerbate public suffering. Meanwhile, India summoned Bangladesh envoy on Monday amid rising border tensions between the two countries. New Delhi conveyed that its border security forces are carrying out construction works by following all protocol and agreement. A conversation took place a day after Bangladesh Foreign Secretary Jashimuddin expressed concerns over construction of barbed fences at 5 different locations across the Indo-Bangladesh border to India High Commissioner Pranay Varma. India maintains that the fences are in place to restrict movement of criminals and ensure a crime-free border. And for the latest, our assistant editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhan Subol, has sent us this report from New Delhi.
The UNI's interim government is facing a lot of pressure, in fact, growing pressure over calling early elections in the country. We saw last year the toppling of the Hasina government, and thereafter the UNIS regime took charge. It is an interim unelected government, and it has to announce the election. Now, the UNIS government says that it has to do electoral reforms, and the months or perhaps a time frame it is looking at is end of 2025 or early 2026. Now, we know that major political parties like BNP have been saying that there needs to be early elections, or else it can be crisis moment for Bangladesh. And even as pressure is growing for the UNIS interim government, we know that relationship with India has been falling as well. India yesterday summoned the top Bangladeshi diplomat over the growing row over border issues, the fencing issue, and this comes even as the situation of minorities in Bangladesh is something that is a concern for New Delhi. India has been very vocal about it as well. With video journalist Neeraj Patel, Siddhan Subal for WION in New Delhi.